Hey everybody, namaste. It's 6:53 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the United States on July 11th, and I'm here as a Chela of Mark and Elizabeth Clare Prophet and a brother in the Order of the Diamond Heart and the Order of St. Joseph. The Order of St. Joseph was established through a dictation, which is a holy message received by a prophet, also known as an amanuensis, actually received by Elizabeth Clare Prophet on July 4th, 1986, from the Master Saint Germain, who is known as the Wonder Man of Europe and was also embodied as both Francis Bacon and Roger Bacon, with Francis Bacon being the true author of the Shakespeare plays. And I'm here to give some additional information about the order and also to answer your questions. For some additional background information to remind people who are following me on my playlist, first of all, my YouTube playlist is Ben Turner 214. You're going to find my entire YouTube playlist if you look for under that particular banner. But if you want the recordings that I've made through the Order of St. Joseph and in fulfillment of my Chelaship, you should look under the playlist that I've entitled New Thought Spirituality. So New Thought, 2 words, both capitalized. Both of the words are capitalized. The first letters are capitalized. And what I am doing is compiling research, 2 things. Receiving information from the Blue Lotus dispensation, which emanates through a ray that originates at the etheric retreat over Arizona, which is the retreat of John the Beloved, the Apostle John, also known as John the Evangelist, right? The beloved of Jesus. And Saint Germain established the Order of St. Joseph in 1986 so that the publishing efforts of the Summit Lighthouse and Church Universal and Triumphant would be supported. So what I do is I make recordings and I share information that I've culled over the course of the intervening weeks that I feel is germane to the unfolding Dharma. And with any luck, I will receive the funding and the additional momentum to write a book on my Chelaship and on the New Aquarian dispensation, additionally. But in the meantime, I take your questions and I respond to those questions, and also share the new information as it is revealed to me by Elizabeth Clare Prophet and the other masters. I had a question before about the levels of heaven. There are 33, and Mother teaches that. So if anyone ever asks you, they talk about, and I don't know, I'd have to look it up, right? The Dante's Inferno, they talk about the various levels of hell. Well, that might be one knowledge of that, or capturing the knowledge of the number of the levels of hell might be one pursuit. I'm not sure, because I haven't looked at Dante in quite a while. But Mother taught that there were 33 levels of heaven, and each one is progressively more, I suppose, rarefied, if that's how to put it. But each level, as you ascend, is progressively purer and more filled with light. But there are 33 distinct levels. I received a tidbit of information from someone responding to a teaching that was being delivered by Nada, who's the Chohan of the 6th ray, the solar plexus. Does anybody have questions? Nada's also on the karmic board. Okay, no questions for the time being. Okay. Right, and I had said in a previous, I wanted to correct this as well. Okay, so first ray, chakra, is Thomas More, but also the poet Thomas More Moore, and the Saint Thomas More, and both are embodiments of King Arthur and Akbar the Great. Similarly, if you go down to the seventh ray, which is one ray below the solar plexus, and the solar plexus is basically in your navel area, one step below that is the seat of the soul chakra, which is the domain of Saint Germain. His twin flame is Ascended Lady Master Portia. Saint Germain was the true author of the Shakespeare plays. In his embodiment as Francis Bacon, in an earlier recording, I had stated I was uncertain as to whether Saint Germain had been embodied as Francis Bacon or Roger Bacon, and actually he was embodied as both. So both Francis Bacon and also Roger Bacon, the, I suppose, scientist / philosopher / alchemist, right? I'm pretty sure, and we can make that part of, we can put that on our list of things to look up. More information about Roger Bacon. So what else is going on? Legal issues. I mean, my first impulse is for the Goddess of Liberty for you to appeal to the Goddess of Liberty if you have specific legal issues. Although justice, I suppose, is a first ray issue. King Arthur is the wielder of Excalibur. You wouldn't fail in appealing to El Moria under those circumstances, certainly. But Nada, I mean, maybe that's the tie-in. Nada was actually a lawyer in Atlantis, a kind of lawyer, and you could appeal to Nada as well. I will quote, there's information that I received from Mother that is through Mother not being in embodiment presently, but are messages that are delivered to me by Elizabeth Clare Prophet, and then there are messages that emerge from the teaching that she gave, and that have been recorded in the two different audio series that I study. One is Inner Perspectives, and one is Family Designs for the Golden Age. And there are many, many hours of studies. And additionally, you can also go and listen to Elizabeth Clare Prophet and the Church Universal and Triumphant Congregation in prayer sessions and in decreeing sessions as well. And you can buy that information and download it to keep from the Ascended Master Library. And I would encourage anybody who is legitimately interested in the New Age dispensation, as I receive it and deliver it and support it, but also as it is delivered to the Chelas of Mark and Elizabeth Clare Prophet. I would go to ascendedmasterlibrary.org, and I think that it's listed under Ascended Master Library, all one word, .org. But if you can't find it there, then definitely go to tsl.org, which is the summitlighthouse.org, and just look for Ascended Master Library in the search menu. What that will do, they've done something remarkable, truly, which is to record or to make available for the Great White Brotherhood and Chelas of Elizabeth Clare Prophet downloadable information that you can save in MP3 format, not just within the last 10 years, but going back to Mark Prophet delivering sermons and lectures in the 50s and 60s, and all sorts of information from both derived from dictation, but also through teachings that they delivered in public lectures that they delivered. So definitely look them up and download some of that. And they're not expensive to download. And if you don't want to wait for, if you don't want to wait for a CD, then just break out your credit card and listen to it online. And for those of you who can't afford it or who don't have the capability or desire to pay for that information, to the best of my knowledge, there are always 10 free either sermons or decree sessions available on the sample page. And truly, I mean, many hours worth of decreeing and And for those of you who aren't familiar with decreeing is a form of dynamic prayer. So the prayer sessions can last for an hour or two, depending upon the mission and who's calling and who's involved. But there are also free lectures to listen to from both Mark and Elizabeth. So don't let cost deter you. Also, as I've mentioned several times in the past, iTunes has a downloadable, collectible area if you know where to look for it. And if you need assistance, certainly I am here to help you as someone in the Order of St. Joseph whose sacred labor is to help facilitate the publications. So send me an email message or a message to me over Facebook. But those two series that I mentioned earlier are available on iTunes for free, so you can download them and keep them and study them. And I strongly encourage you to do that. And again, it's many, many hours of Elizabeth Clare Prophet responding directly to questions from people who are living at the ranch at the time and who are, deeply devoted to the mission and the prayer work. But and I think that I mentioned this before. Elizabeth Clare Prophet, through her teaching, her public teaching, states, in addition to saying that Eden was a mystery school under the auspices of Maitreya, which is what we believe at the Summit Lighthouse, and by Eden I mean the biblical Eden, Jesus is believed to have reigned during the time of Atlantis as High King. So this is a departure from mainline Christianity and also from both Orthodoxy and Roman Catholicism. We believe that Jesus reigned as High King from 32,550 BC under the sign of Cancer, and that was 17 ages previous to this age. And Mother wanted me to point that out to you. And as a reminder, Mary Baker Eddy, when you look on your list of Ascended Masters, the individuals we believe are Ascended Masters and also Ascended Lady Masters in our church, when you don't see Mary Baker Eddy, it's because listed specifically or delineated specifically, it's because she's believed to have been the goddess of wisdom. Ruth Hawkins, who was the artist she did a well-known depiction of Nada, for instance, was considered to be the goddess of beauty, and she's listed as such on that list. But Theosophia is actually the goddess of wisdom. So when they talk about Theosophia in the church or in spin-off organizations or related organizations, other I Am Activity organizations, they're talking about Mary Baker Eddy. Theosophia is the goddess of wisdom and was one of the embodiments of Mary Baker Eddy, who is the founder of the Church of Christ Scientist with a mother church in Boston. Let me give you a little bit of extra information on Anankiel. I'll try to provide a link to it if I think of it. In addition to the 7 standard rays, we have what's called the first secret ray, which is the secret chamber of the heart, which is a peach and gold color and is ruled by Anankiel, the Archangel. It's also known as the 8th chakra, but it's the first secret ray, and there are 4 additional secret rays. There are 5 secret rays in total. Now, I made this disclaimer before. Mother has taught about the rays, and when I refer to those teachings, I think of her teachings, and I need to study them. She made some recordings relating to the Rosary, and Beloved Mary, back in the 70s, asked her to assign a special mystery to each of the days of the week, which in turn correspond to each of the chakras, of course, because of the septenary nature of the teaching, 7 chakras, 7 days of the week. And this is going to differ from the Roman Catholic practice, which is to use 4 mysteries and to have them distributed throughout the 7 days, so that when you say the rosary on Monday or on, I think Sunday is glorious, right? So if you say the rosary on a Sunday in the Catholic Church, you want to use the glorious mysteries. And then, the sorrowful mysteries are Tuesday and Friday, according to the Roman Catholics. And Mother, according to the message that she received from Beloved Mary back in the 70s, has something different going on for the mysteries. We will study those separately, of course, and they're hugely valuable. But what I am pointing out here is that another church, also a New Age church, also I Am Activity people, Saint Germain people, who incidentally believe that Mark Prophet, our beloved Linello, is the Chohan of the second secret ray, so they can't be that far off course. They have a specific, they have codified and received information, or they claim to have received information from the masters with respect to the various colors and Chohans associated with the additional rays, the secret rays. I have reviewed that information, and in my determination, it is accurate information. I have not interacted with other people at the Summit Lighthouse about that, or had an in-depth conversation, but I feel that it is the true Dharma, and I don't think that people who really have ears are going to disagree with it. I think that the shearers, if they were the ones who received the information, received accurate information, I think that we should follow that information as the standard, irrespective of whether or not we consider the shearers to be Temple of the Presence, to be part of, an ancillary part of Church Universal and Triumphant, or if they're their own deal. I do think that these colors are accurate, and I wanted to reinforce that. So I discussed that in another recording. But Anankiel, and I specifically discussed the fourth secret ray. The color associated with the fourth secret ray is aquamarine, and the reason this came up is because I had a conversation with someone who asked about aqua and thought that maybe the color aqua was associated with the first ray. Well, to an extent, I suppose that is true, and to whatever extent that the masters will guide you to believe that that coloration is accurate, it should be followed. But aqua is specifically designated as the color corresponding to the fourth secret ray, which is ruled by the Archangel Anankiel. Anankiel rules the fourth secret ray, which is the ray of necessity. Okay? So different from the associations of the standard 7 rays. We don't have a ray of necessity among the 7, but the fourth secret ray is the ray of necessity, and that is an aqua color, which is appropriate because water is associated with aqua, and water is a necessity. What Mother also directed me to impart that Anankiel is based upon, in Sanskrit, Ananda, okay, Ananda, means the following: full, complete, and limitless happiness, the true nature of each individual. Ananda. The angel is Anankiel. So that's the nexus to study. What's interesting about it is it doesn't exactly mean necessity, but the message is that the full, complete, and limitless happiness of the individual, and also the quote-unquote true nature of each individual, is the necessity. So we're to focus on that in our ongoing pursuit of understanding the intricacies of the secret rays. I have more information from Yogi Raj, and also more information with respect to his teaching on Kriya Yoga in a little bit. Just give me a couple of minutes. I'll be right back.